January 6th as a day of love and could pardon many of the defendants charged in the riot. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Multiple news agencies reporting that embattled Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to resign as early as Monday, according to Canadian media. The news first reported by the Globe and Mail, citing three sources. Reuters reporting Trudeau is increasingly likely to announce he intends to step down. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network, the Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, going far beyond the headlines, tapping into the massive reporting resources of Fox News to provide a full picture of the news of the day.
I'm Dana Perino.
I'm Brett Baer.
I'm Maria Bartiromo.
I'm Brian Kilmeade, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
Many are concerned about safety and security in New Orleans after the horrifying New Year's Day terror attack ahead of the Super Bowl next month. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry tells Fox's Sunday Night in America with Trey Gowdy that the U.S. needs a new Homeland Security Secretary as soon as possible.
What we should be concentrating on is making sure as we prepare for a Super Bowl in the city of New Orleans, we need Kristi Noem to be confirmed on the same day that Donald Trump is sworn in as president, and it's something that the Senate could do.
A metal barrier system was not in place on New Year's Day as they were going under repairs for the Super Bowl. Authorities say that they'll increase security measures for the game. Hamas says it's approved a list of 34 hostages that Israel wants to exchange in a possible ceasefire deal. A Hamas official, however, says any deal is contingent upon reaching an agreement on a permanent ceasefire and an Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. The Brutalist makes its case for the Oscars with a big night at the Golden Globes.
Nikki Glaser began trending immediately as host of the 82nd annual Golden Globes, cracking a joke about Ozempic and the failure of Joker 2, a surprise for Demi Moore, who took home her first ever lead actress award for The Substance.
I had a woman say to me, just know you will never be enough. But you can know the value of your worth if you just put down the measuring stick.
The clip courtesy of Golden Globes LLC and Dick Clark Productions LLC. The Brutalist was the big winner in film in the drama category with 3 awards, while in musical or comedy, Amelia Perez took home 4 on the TV side. Shogun dominated with 4 awards. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
The Golden Globes Awards show is held at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. I'm Deborah Valentine. This is Fox News.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's the time of the year for Wow. It's my Wow January special. Get 10 pieces of my finger-licking good KFC fried chicken plus 2 large red rice, all for just $25. Whether you're feeding the family or just hungry for some of my good old fried chicken, KFC's got you covered. Hurry down to your nearest KFC today or order at kfcguam.com, because my Wow January special is only available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Attention, all sales superstars. Choice Broadcasting is looking for a dynamic radio sales executive to join our winning team. Do you thrive on building relationships, have a knack for closing deals, and love the fast pace of radio sales? If so, we want you. You'll enjoy a competitive salary, excellent commissions, and the chance to work with the best in the broadcasting business. Apply now at the Choice Broadcasting office in Tumuning.
Fox Facts. We all know the famous tagline, M&M's melt in your mouth, not in your hands. But do you know how these delectable treats got their name? In the early 1940s, during World War II, Forrest Mars of the Mars Company and Bruce Murray, son of the Hershey's Chocolate's president, teamed up to create a practical and heat-resistant chocolate for soldiers in the field. Mars was inspired by seeing soldiers eating candy-coated chocolate morsels during the Spanish Civil War. This collaboration gave birth to M&M's, and the name M in and M cleverly represented the surnames of both creators. Packaged in a cardboard tube at the time, they were manufactured solely for the U.S. military and included in rations. The candy's hard shell made it ideal for combat conditions, preventing melting and sticking. After the war, M&Ms became a beloved confection worldwide while maintaining the original name of their creators, Mars and Murray. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
You're listening to 93.3 FM. The point is, it's a new year, 2025, and you're listening to Veterans with Benefits. Your hosts, Anthony Tyron and Karina Ballista.
Half a day. Welcome back. Happy New Year, 2025. Wow. You're listening to us on The Point. You can call into 671-888-TALK, and you're listening to us on 93.3. Of course, we always want to thank our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., Zuila.org, Hebzibah Family Medical Clinic, American Legion, Master Blasters, Elevensies. Who's that over there, Elevensies?
Mia, her favorite drink is the caramel macchiato.
Okay, so go ahead. So Elevensies is right behind the radio station, and they offer 11% discount for military and veterans.
And they're also in the mall.
Yes, also in the mall. And then Domino's Pizza.
Yep. Thank you, Dane. Dane has been a big help for our Veteran of the Week. And go get those pizzas and get your pictures done there, Veteran of the Week.
Mm-hmm, yes. So that leads us to Veteran of the Week. Vietnam veteran Staff Sergeant Albert Park is an extraordinary individual whose service and dedication extend far beyond his time in the military. His experience as a Vietnam veteran, 67 November helicopter mechanic and gunner, demonstrate his courage and sacrifice. His commitment to the well-being of others, both through his role as co-founder and practicing director of the Brotherhood of Veterans Motorcycle Club, is truly inspiring. Creating a space for veterans to find brotherhood, healing, and support shows his deep compassion and understanding of the unique challenges many veterans face. His active support for causes like funeral escorts, Special Olympics, diabetes awareness, and broader community outreach speaks volumes about his character and enduring dedication to service. Honoring him is well deserved. We are grateful for sharing his story. It's a powerful reminder of the positive impact one person can have. All right. Let us congratulate him for his service. Thank him for his service.
Yay. Veteran Park, be sure you get to Domino's, get a hold of Dane, and get your pizza and get a picture.
Yes.
If you don't want the pizza, give it to me.
No.
I'll eat it.
And I'm sure Dane will be like, we can get him a pizza. So, of course, we're going to do veteran question of the week and tip of the week. So, question of the week: how do I know if I'm eligible for VA healthcare benefits? So, due to the PACTEC expansion, the best thing to do is to take your DD-214 on Guam here up to the CBOC, which is a community-based outpatient clinic, the little building outside of Naval Hospital, outside the gate. That is our VA clinic. So, take your DD-214 up there and tell them you want to apply for healthcare, or file a VA claim, and then if you're service connected, you can get health care. Okay. And then veteran tip of the week: the importance of filing for your disability benefits. A lot of veterans don't think that they're qualified, but if you've experienced any service-related injuries or illnesses, it's important to file a claim for disability compensation. The process is very tedious, but the best thing and the best advice is to start now. Go to today, Monday?
Yes.
Go to the CBOC and apply for health care, and then everything, and then attend our boot camp tomorrow. We HMI, we hold a free monthly benefit boot camp tomorrow. It's going to be in Assen, 7, 8, 9 from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Absolutely free. We go over how to file the claim. So first day we go over the law, 38 CFR M21-1, and then the second day we go over required forms. Third day we go over CMP exam prep, and then many others. But it's important to file your claim to get access to your benefits. Did you want to say hello?
Oh, I wanted to say hello to Knox and Aaliyah.
All right. And then we also just wanted to make a quick announcement because we always forget this. A veteran A veteran shared a job opportunity. So it's SMC Security. They're looking to hire full-time and part-time security officers. You just need to provide a court and police clearance, must be able to pass a drug screening, must have reliable transportation, and scheduling flexible, day and night shifts. And then to reach out to smcguam@gmail.com or 671-998-0660. So this is a veteran who shared a job opportunity. I think they're looking for veterans. Not sure.
Well,
but just give them a call.
Yes. If you want a job, if you need a job,
yes,
give them a call.
Yes.
Anything else?
We can introduce our guest.
Okay, so right now we have a man who needs no introduction, but he's going to introduce himself anyway. In our studio we have, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Robert Jackson, and I am a retired colonel, 27.5 years in the United States Air Force, and I'm happy to be here. And before you all go any further, I do want to give you guys kudos and shout outs, because Miss Karina, Tony, you all have been forces of nature in the community, really just pushing for the improvement and quality of life of veterans. You all have had such a spirit of collaboration. You don't care who it is, what their political affiliation is, no matter, you're ready to work and collaborate with anybody and everyone for the benefits of veterans. So I salute you for that, and thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. That was so nice.
Yes, thank you.
We'll give him that money later on. Anyway, go ahead. And man, interesting. You retired out of the Air Force, right? You know what's interesting that I often tell most of our veterans, right, and especially those that are, they got some rank on them, because when you go file, right, it forces those below you to go file as well, because at the end of the day, right, we know that a lot of our enlisted folks, are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, right? Not to say that up top doesn't do any work or doesn't do heavy lifting. It might be a different kind of heavy lifting, right? But at the end of the day, right, we start seeing colonels and generals putting in their claims. That's a clear indicator to all of our veterans down below. Hey, man, get out there and file your claim. If our leaders are doing it, it means that there's a system in place that works. And if they're able to get some benefits, don't you think these folks in the enlisted side should also be getting some help as well, the same way you do?
Absolutely. And I think that my own experience through retirement and transition from active duty military to veteran status really highlighted a lot of the changes and the improvements that we have made as a country collectively. I will tell you that when I was in and seeing a lot of those changes coming through, and as somebody who was in leadership, from above, we were, really encouraged to preach all of the changes and the importance of that. And I actually even had some mentors who are both on active duty as well as retired senior officers, who talked about the importance of this and why it was important and where a lot of these changes came from because of the difficulties that veterans were having once they got out of active duty, and they had that kind of break, and now they're coming back and trying to get what they've already earned and deserve.
Yeah, and that's and it's really tough, and it's really great to hear that from you, right? Because understanding that, and our veterans out there hearing it from you, right? They should be taking heed that, hey, look, man, we got to go do this, right? They're telling us that there's changes, and there are changes. Today more than ever is the best time to be a veteran. There are changes in our system that you just talked about, right? There are reasons that we need to file. If we don't file, if we don't get our claims, the VA is saying, well, there's nobody that needs any help. There's not enough veterans that are out there that are sick or don't have a problem, right? And that's why the VA might be withholding providing service, because nobody's claiming, nobody's filing.
Yeah. So my own personal experience, I will tell you that I thought that the transition assistance program that I went through at the end of my active duty to start my transition phase was absolutely world class. I'll be honest with you, I went into the symposium thinking it was going to be kind of B-rated kind of material and information and stuff like that. And I left there through that transition assistance program seminar, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is quality information taught by quality folks, giving you quality resources. And I was really impressed with that. The other thing that I got mentorship on and I thought was really powerful is that these days, mentors are suggesting to their folks to take the transition assistance program multiple times.
Yes.
Multiple times, because it's such good information that you're only absorbing so much the first time around, and there's no limit on how many times you can go through the program.
Now, would they allow you to go? You know how it is in the military, right? Oh, Sarge, I'm going to go to the TAPS program again. Well, I mean, and that's been some of the challenge, right? And then, even our folks, right, when they're in, right, sometimes they're like, it's death by PowerPoint, and, I don't get it. It doesn't, because maybe like you said, right, just like our boot camps, people come there and there's a lot of information. Yeah. They've never heard it before, right? And then when they hear it, they're like, oh, wow, okay, that's good information. But it sometimes takes them more than one sitting to consume all this information.
Absolutely. I will tell you from my own personal experience, the commanders, the senior officers, the command chief master sergeants, first sergeants, et cetera, they encouraged their people and supported their people if they wanted to take it more than one time, because they understood how important this is. And quite frankly, you can never start too early planning for your transition. And that was another theme that ran through everything, right? So people talk about 6 months or a year or whatever, but it really doesn't have a time frame. The earlier, the better.
Yes.
The more information that you can get, the better. Yeah. So that's why it doesn't have to be 6 months or a year. It could be sooner than that, sitting down and starting availing yourself of resources and whatnot.
And you're right on point with that too, right? And when you talk about that, right? So we get like folks that when they're in service, right? And I think you may have captured some of the time when being in was, hey, you don't go to sick call, man. What are you going to sick call for, right? Or why are you sick, right? It's like you don't get to be sick in the military, and I think that has changed a little bit. And some of the things that we talk about at the boot camps are, hey, if you can't go today because you have work, come on, we got to use our minds here a little bit. Your bosses will let you go, but you got to go when it's not peak duty time. If it's like, hey, there's a bunch of planes coming in, we got to load them all up. You can't go there and say, hey, boss, man, I want to go to the clinic right now, And every other time when you had the time off, you never wanted to go. Now, granted, there could be a time where, hey, I'm not sick then, but I'm sick now. But if it's still the busy time, maybe you wait until after the work is done, and then you can still go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the analogy that I loved coming from my Air Force world and aircraft maintenance and logistics was the idea of the hip pocket write-up. So the crew chief on the flight line knows their baby, knows their aircraft, right? And it's all about the mission because you got to launch those sorties, get that aircraft up in the air so you can make combat air power for America. That's what it's all about, right? But sometimes in order to do that, they hip pocket write-ups. Yeah, I know I can. This is something that I need to work on, but this isn't something that is a safety issue. I'm going to hip pocket this. I'm going to do it later. Now, a lot of times, like aircraft have overhaul periods, like every 5 years or whatever, they go to overhaul to the depot or whatever. That's the time you pull out all of those hip pocket write-ups. So when it goes to the depot for overhaul, you can have that aircraft get really just from nose to tail turned over, fixed, so that you can get a brand new kind of thing. And it's kind of the same way on your way out of the military, right? You've been hip pocketing a lot of write-ups for yourself. Different little aches and pains, different little issues and problems, like you were talking about, that you don't go to sick call for. You're not too worried about it. But now is the time because there's going to be a process that happens, and then your records are going to follow you going into the veteran status, and that's going to be extremely important. That's the time to start pulling out all of those hip pocket write-ups for the doctors to be able to do it. And it's not just physical, it's physical and mental.
Right. But this is a new thing today, right? The mental side, right? And that's the stuff we want to really to touch on. Now, you and I have been hogging the mic. Miss Karina, do you have something?
Well, you guys kind of went off topic, but that's okay because like what he said, there's just different things to do, and we talked about that earlier where he did it the right way. He went to TAPS. He had 27 plus years.
Yes, 27
retired.
and a half years. Yeah.
And so you actually went to TAPS and you took full advantage of it. But like Anthony said, do you think that these in-service military members will be afforded the time to go? Because it all depends on how you separate from the military. It's either I'm separating because I have to go back home and I have a job, or I have a family, and oh, by the way, household goods is coming to pick up. I gotta pick up my car, ship my car, clean my car.
It's so worth it.
It is worth it, but veterans just don't take advantage of it. But there is the new law, right?
Yes.
My brother separated a few years ago, and he said the VA keeps calling me. They keep calling me. So if he didn't file, the VA now goes and find you and say, hey, why don't you file? And he's like, well, they stopped calling me finally. But I mean, he eventually did file, but it's something that, that has to be done.
Yeah. And it was so important because, I started, I'd say 6 to 12 months out, just for my own personal sake. I would have loved 2 years out to do it. If I were to do it all over again, I would have really started doing that. But even with that and some of the mentorship and advice I was getting, it's a process. It's going to be a lot of paperwork. There's going to be a lot of appointments and a lot of follow-up. But it is worth it. And the amount of pain and time that you have to invest in it during that transition period, you're probably going to dole out 3 to 4 times as much if you don't do it well then and have to come back to the table and do it. So that is your best case. And with the changes in the laws, changes in policy and stuff, yes, it's going to take some time. Yes, it's going to be a bunch of paperwork. Yes, it's going to be a lot of appointments, but it is so worth it, and it's the most efficient and effective way to make sure that you're taken care of for the long term. So I'm really a proponent of that.
Awesome. But another thing we talked about is you went through the BDD program.
Yes.
So you were active duty. So a lot of the veterans here on Guam are not active duty. A lot of us are Guard and Reserve. So a lot of us didn't even know we could file because we were told, oh, you're Guard and Reserve, you don't qualify, which is wrong. You can actually be a drilling Guard and Reservist and still have disability benefits while you're drilling.
That's great information.
Yeah. And so not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you went through the BDD program. So the BDD program means you could file within 180 to 90 days of separation or retirement. And then that's where you went through all the appointments. And the reason why you do that is because the VA wants to say, hey, make sure you're here in station or at the location. So when we order your CMP exam, you can attend it. So that's what you were talking about. All those exams you need to do, all the paperwork. Yes, it's important. But BDD veteran that's filing for their claim versus a veteran that got out 10, 15 years ago and didn't even know they could file a claim are two different situations, two different things they need to do.
And that's a key point that you talked about. We got to do it now. And sometimes, like you said, we should have done it sooner, right? And you're talking active duty, right? And when we talk about it, the closer you are to being in service and filing for the claim, the better it's going to be. Because if you wait...
But it's never too late.
That's right.
But it's never too late. No matter how long you've waited, it's never too late.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no deadline.
There is no deadline. It's just more efficient and more effective to do it, throughout.
And that's exactly right. And that's the message we need to be getting out to all our veterans. Go file your claims. If you need some help, boot camp is tomorrow, 5:30 at Aston Mayor's office.
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes, and I think is that the schedule up there, Jose? I think Jose put up the schedule.
All right.
So January. We're January, right? January is at Aston Mayor's office. So February is is that in Alahan?
Yes.
March is that Molesto? No, March is in April. What's in March?
March is in April. What?
No, wait. Where's March at?
No, March.
Isn't that the
March is Santa Rita?
Santa Rita, and then April is in Molesto.
Okay.
Yeah, and then May.
And you got these posted. If you're not in the chat group, get a hold of Miss Karina. She'll get you into a chat group. If you're looking at it right now on YouTube or Facebook, right, just go to the register and the QR code is there. So get on there and just get that going. And the sooner the better. And even more than that too, right? It's the medical benefits that come with that are also huge, right? It's good to have the compensation, and even better to get the medical, because it's even better than TRICARE's services, right? And not to knock the two around, right? But hey, if you got both, it's better than to have one and not the other. So it's better to get them all. If you can get them and you're entitled to it, get them all.
And then let's say hello to those watching us online.
All right.
Elizabeth Kitchitu, she says, watching with you. Marvin says, half a day and special guest. Thank you for all your support. And after the break, we'll talk about the other guests we met earlier who couldn't make it on air but wanted to spread some messages. We'll be right back. You're listening to us on The Point. You can call into 671-888-TALK.
Boss 104, The Point, and Star 101, in collaboration with the Guam Premier Outlets, present the 2025 Health and Wellness Fair. Spend the first part of your new year with us. Enjoy an array of healthcare businesses showcasing how they can help you create a journey of wellness and how to create healthy habits. Mark the date, January 11th, for the 2025 Health and Wellness Fair, presented by Star 101, Boss 104, The Point, and Guam Premier Outlets.
Tori tempo gagi hami isla tanota Nangatsum yiti tempo ibisino itingo West Attic Hanabanko Sameka Sibishu Bank Pacific The Ocean Bank Promise Hami Holly
Listen to The Point anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Find your favorite stations like The Point and discover more. Music stations, local and trusted news sources, sports talk and team coverage, plus today's biggest podcasts. Find it all on the Odyssey app. AUDACY.
And we're back. So we did talk about the guest that we met earlier that couldn't make it online. So we were a group of, do I say VA employees? Yes.
Yes.
Team. A VA research team. We're on Guam. They're here on Guam, actually, led by Miss Brianne Baker DeBeer. So they're here to lay the groundwork for some research in the Pacific. So this is research. She has a PhD in clinical psychology. She's a clinical researcher, and she did this in the U.S. and she had a funding through a grant, research grant. And so their focus will be in the Pacific. So they met with us earlier. They will come on air next time they come to Guam. But they did want to share that most veterans who die by suicide don't have contact with the VA in the year prior to death. We are developing upstream suicide prevention methods in which we support organizations in implementing veteran suicide prevention funded on a project to bring this work to Guam. They're seeking organizations who may be interested in partnering with us. So they met with us earlier because although Anthony and I are the radio hosts of Veterans with Benefits here Monday nights on The Point, we are also president and vice president of a veteran nonprofit organization, HMI. So she said, and Anthony and I probably were laughing at each other when she was saying this because it's what we do. She said veterans don't have access to benefits, and how do they get that? And then she's like, well, thank you to Mel Mendiola there from Gita, and to Miss Lisa Fisher, and then who was
Bernice Torres,
for sending them to us, because we do outreach. And when the VA was here in December, they do say, the VBA people out of Hawaii say, oh, we're great, we do the best, we do outreach. Well, they don't go where the veterans are. We go where the veterans are, and that's where they live, into their villages. So when they say that their numbers are increasing on Guam, yes, they are, due to the outreach that HMI does. So they came to meet with us and they want to talk to us and, just make the contact. And so thank you to Miss Mel, Lisa, and Bernice for introducing us.
And by the way, when we talk about HMI and, we might not be branded as the suicide prevention folks, but we must say that we have been pitching since we've been around that our veterans go sign up at the CBOT, that they go seek their benefits.
Yes.
We've been pushing the fact that if they get their ratings, they now have access to the best quality care in the United States, which is with the VA. When I say that, we have been promoting suicide awareness, right? We often get our veterans coming to us and we refer them to a lot of our doctors that we collaborate with here on island. By the way, Dr. Akoma, who works alongside us, is a family medicine doctor. He can diagnose people with mental health conditions. And I think we had that mentioned by the folks from the Air Force, the ladies that came in.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so a family medicine doctor can diagnose you with mental health conditions. Furthermore, we've had Dr. Andrea Lighthizer, who's been a staple for our veterans out here. She's an Air Force veteran, and I think we filled her schedule up. And we've also got Dr. Root, also these two are psychologists, and we send our veterans to get care and help from them. And these two have been very helpful, as well as Dr. Akoma. We have Dr. Cregan, who's out there, right? We collaborate with all these folks, bring them in, and provide them to our veterans so our veterans can get the care that they need. Now, there's one more new...
Oh, Dr. McClure.
Dr. McClure. And as well, he comes out of Total Guam.
Yes.
We had Dennis in here.
Rodriguez.
Yes, right. We had him here. So when we talk about this, right, we might not be the name brand of, hey, we do suicide prevention, but we have been getting our veterans to the help that they need, and we are there at the forefront with our veterans when they need the help. So in essence, we are doing suicide prevention. So for anybody that doesn't think we are, come check us out and come check out the folks that are around us. Ask a veteran. Did HMI help send you to some places? Did they refer you to a doctor? The answer is yes. And we did refer him to the CBOC as well. So there are things that we are doing to get our veterans to the help that they need, to include suicide prevention.
Yes, and that's also what, Brianne and her team said was, they need access to their benefits before they can get VA health care.
And the biggest key to all these things that the VA is giving grant money to, which is joblessness, homelessness, and suicide prevention, she mentioned it. The biggest key to getting that thing solved is money. And where do our veterans get money? I've been pitching this for the last 4 years. Get them to file for their claim. So even if they get tinnitus, which 90% of our veterans will get, they can now get some money in their pocket and be eligible to get the best health care in the United States, which is with the VA.
Yes.
All right.
We have some more comments online. Very informative show today. And then Charlie Hermosa, Happy New Year. And then we have Bob Kelly.
Hey.
I'm here while flying. Hello, Bob Kelly. We know you're here. You sent me a message earlier, and then you commented online.
Who's at the controls?
Who's at the control? So it was a really great speaking to her. It was a breath of fresh air that I feel like I'm being counted. I feel that I will be taken care of with what their mission is.
And it was a philanthropic donor.
Yes.
That wanted them to come to Guam.
Yes.
What was the name? Fighting.
It's called Face to Fight. She told whoever this person was. Told her to go to the Pacific Islands.
Go to Guam.
Yes, which led me to Dr. McClure, because remember when we met Dr. McClure at Total Guam, he gave us a presentation and he compared the suicide rate and suicide, the method, right? The method, it's different here in the Pacific than it is, and it's also different in the different islands and outer islands from Guam as it is to the U.S., right? And then we also talked about what happened on New Year's.
Yes.
Those two events
Louisiana
were veterans.
and, exactly.
One was still active duty. So, it's not, and you just don't know what a veteran is going through. When a veteran is 100% service, permanent total, people look at you and they see your ID and you're like, well, nothing's wrong with you. And I have to remind people that deal with veterans, not all injuries are seen. Not all things that are affecting veterans you can see. You can't see it. Just because we don't have our, a limbs, missing, it doesn't mean that we don't have other things going on with us.
That's right. So thank you to the philanthropic donor.
Yes.
Face the Fight?
It's called Face to Fight.
Face to Fight.
Yes.
And we'll look that up, and we really are very happy that you sent Dr. Brianne
Baker DeBeer.
Yes. Thank you for
Yes.
coming here.
And she's out of
Denver.
She says, so VA Rocky Mountain for suicide prevention.
And it's on the research side.
Yes, so so even though she's not front facing, she has interviewed over 1,000 veterans.
That is awesome.
Yes.
And she has a lot of veterans in her family that, pull her to ensure that she does a great job with this.
Yes.
And then she had her team with her.
Yes.
But she didn't give us their names.
No, we didn't get their names. But if you're a veteran and you've registered for our Boot Camp 36 down in Aston, which is tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., you can meet them on Thursday, but they will be there on Thursday.
Very nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we
What do we
taking
got next?
I thought we were going to take a break. No?
No, not yet.
Oh,
5 minutes.
So Rob, did you do your intro? I don't know. You guys started talking about VA benefits.
I think
the biggest thing in the intro was really talking about how important that transition is,
Yes.
and to share my personal experience about the changes and that things have improved
Yes.
on that front. So to kind of just jump in from there, like I said, 27 and a half years, most of that in aircraft maintenance and logistics. In addition to overseas assignments all around the globe and the deployments to the Middle East and stuff like that. 27 and a half years. I'm really blessed that the Air Force gave me a chance to actually go to business school. They sent me to business school to learn, kind of industry leading processes and procedures and stuff like that, so that hopefully I could bring that back to the Air Force and implement. And that was a really great experience. Little did I know at the time that, I might be making good of this later on. So after I retired from the Air Force in 2019, I got into federal government contracting. And I was working with a federal government contracting company for about 5 years or so. That's what brought me to Guam. Enjoyed that time, enjoyed being back serving in the mission. But as of last year, I've now struck out on my own, so doing the entrepreneurial thing. So the name of my company is The Most Services, and we're a business and technology consulting company, and really three main lines of effort. First is helping companies compete for and win government contracts, so bringing that expertise to bear. Second, kind of leveraging on some of that education and training that the Air Force blessed me with, sent me away to learn a little bit about improving processes and achieving operational excellence. And then the third area is really my passion project, and that is kind of leveraging technology to improve operational performance and safety. And one of the things that I'm doing is working with a business here on island, marketing a new IoT device that is AI enabled to put in like delivery trucks and logistics vehicles to improve safety and to improve operational efficiency. So I look forward to kind of bringing this new technology to Guam, and the payoff is if we do it and we use it right and more companies start using it, guess what? We're going to have better logistics, we're going to have safer roads, we're going to have better efficiency. So really a passionate area of mine.
Wow. What was your AFSC in the Air Force?
2-1 Alpha, so aircraft maintenance. And like I said, later on, I got an opportunity to go and work in the industrial side as well as the acquisition side, so kind of large strategic logistics kind of stuff. And again, I'm thankful for all of those opportunities because it gave me a chance of not just serving and learning and understanding and contributing from the operational side, at the deployed locations, on the flight line, et cetera, but also learn and participate in the business side of the Air Force and be able to kind of take some parallels from that.
So there's really no red tape that they call it, or bureaucratic problem.
Now you know better than that, Tony.
Okay, so
you know better than
so
that.
it does exist, but it's not something. I think when you really look at it, right? I think a lot of it is crossing our T's and dotting our I's, right? Because dealing with what you deal with, right, in the Air Force, right? You miss something, right? It could be billions of dollars that we lose, right? I mean, what does it cost for those B-2 bombers if they get?
I think the $2 billion, $1 billion, $2 billion.
Yeah, now that we have the new B-21 Raider, which is getting ready to replace the B-2. So yeah,
you know that when those things are here on Guam, right? we get the service members guarding those things, right?
Yeah,
and people can't get around them,
right?
Yeah, so it's like really interesting about what something really costs. And I think they had some planes crash when they were out here.
But it's not just the cost piece, and this is the thing that I've learned from my experience in operational excellence, process improvement, and all of those different things that I got a chance to learn during my Air Force time, and then apply even in in federal government contract and civilian industry is the biggest issue is that most people are afraid of change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And getting people comfortable with the idea of change. And you all can relate to that even in your realm, right?
Yeah.
Because you're collaborating with lots of different organizations. They have their own processes and procedures, but they're locked into one way of seeing the world and how something needs to get done. And they have their own definition of what right looks like. And being able to open up people's mind to the possibility of there's a lot of different versions of right, and that we can work and we can change and we can be better. And it doesn't mean that we break something or we do something illegal or we harm people or provide lower class service. It's really about change for the better.
Yes.
Right.
It is.
Getting people comfortable about that.
Awesome.
And we're taking a break. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. You're listening to us on 93.3 on The Point online, and you can also call into 671-888-TALK. We'll be right back.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. It's the time of the year for wow. It's my wow January special. Get 10 pieces of my finger-licking good KFC fried chicken plus 2 large red rice, all for just $25. Whether you're feeding the family or just hungry for some of my good old fried chicken, KFC's got you covered. Hurry down to your nearest KFC today or order at kfcguam.com, because my wow January special is only available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with the Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
And we're back. We're saying hello to those online. Oh, there's Brendan Fausto. I was going to say, where is he? Right, Jose? He's normally online. Jigo Jarhead watching.
All right.
He gives us a bunch of salutes. All right. So, before we go any further, right, we did want to, if anyone's reading the paper, the Post prints, but PDN doesn't print anymore, but
They're digital.
yes. So, the changeover, right? The administration, everyone saw what happened over the weekend. Biden awarded a lot of people with the, Medal of Freedom and then Medal of Honor.
Yes. So one of the things, that we need to kind of talk about, right? And when we look at the Medal of Honor, right, our heroes from out this way, right, have done the same thing that most of these folks have done, except it's been kind of pushed a little bit away or not being noticed. And I don't know that it's because we're so far away and maybe, there's not enough lobbying behind what we do. And that's something that we probably need to take a look at. And we'll start off with, that we all got together when the congressman's office decided to say, hey, we're going to put something through. And it got through the Congress, and I think it died in the Senate, right? So nothing happened when it got there. I don't know the particulars of it, but what we do know is that, there was a big push from all our local folks out here. The legislature wrote something, and it was spearheaded through the congressman's office. So, the issue was it was done through the Army is what I'm hearing, right? Because I think everyone that was on there was in the Army. So, we want to maybe find out what else we can do, right? The article wasn't necessarily to put blame on any specific person or organization, right?
Oh, and the article you're talking about is the one in the PDN today.
Yes, the PDN
that you wrote.
Yes, and it's more geared towards, hey, we as a group of veterans, we need to start doing something. We've already, proclaimed Year of the Veteran last year, but there still needs to be more, because apparently we haven't even been able to get our faces in front of the White House when, in fact, there were folks that have been submitted for the Medal of Honor, and our boys didn't make it in. And whatever the case might be for that is maybe what we should be looking at. But we shouldn't just be waiting till the end and then going to say, hey, maybe we could throw a Hail Mary and they'll take care of us. But guess what? If that's all we have, we better darn well go ask. But if we don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. And my thoughts might be also, and we've had this discussion in our Guam Veterans Task Force meeting, right? That, maybe we should do one for ourselves on the island. Well, guess what? It was like, oh, it's not the same. That's, but maybe it is something. Because if you never get something, but yet over here on your island, you get your own Medal of Honor. And by the way, some states have done this. Yes, it doesn't reach that level, but doesn't it send a message to those people as well that, hey, if you won't give our boys this medal, we'll give them our medal. And we'll find ways to get them to get even more than what those guys get. And if we can do that, maybe that Medal of Honor that they're giving out is probably not worth what our Medal of Honor is. And sometimes there's things that you got to do to make it work, right? And at the end of the day, we shouldn't be always having to try to make things work. Things should work here the same way it works in anywhere in the continental United States. And when I say that too, right, it comes to, hey, look, right, we are the most patriotic place in the United States. And you could take that to the bank. So that's my piece on it, right?
I got a message that says, don't we have an in with Trump? a local in with Trump.
Well, we better get that over there first thing after the 21st.
Yes.
First thing Monday morning.
But it's funny that you should say that again. Going back to the kudos, one thing that you all and HMI really personify is that whole old saying about be the change that you want to see, right? So a lot of times what we do is we have something we want to get done and we hand it off to somebody. And we think that because we've handed off to that person, they're the right person. Again, without getting into politics or anything like that, congressman, senator, mayor, whoever, and they're going to now take this and run with it. But really what you want to do is you want to be the change that you want to see. So it's you being invested, and you two folks really do a really great job of that because you just go and do things. You don't really ask permission.
Nope. And we don't need it, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need it.
I don't need it.
You don't need it.
Nope.
You just go out and you do on behalf of trying to make things better and trying to make a difference. So that spirit really needs to continue to catch hold, and I really applaud you guys for that.
I'm not going to pay you much more after this one, okay, Rob? We only have so much money, and I have to pay you personally, so please, no more kudos.
And it's only January.
I know,
right? I was trying to jump us into February.
and I want to say something about that. You might be pointing that out, right? But what you don't understand is that the things that you do, you coming around, you supporting all these things that we have, all our veterans out there. People wonder, how do those crazy people do these things at HMI? We call our veterans.
Yeah.
Our veterans make what we do happen. Yeah. And if nobody's going to help us, guess what? Our veterans are going to help us. They're going to be there, and they're going to make these things happen for themselves. Because as I told the lady that came in from Denver, I often say, nobody's coming to save us. But I might be wrong because they're coming in and they're going to bring some things for us. And they were bringing nice things that, hey, we want to help. Hey, there's ways for us to help. And we sincerely appreciate that. But back to all these things about trying to get things going, there's none of this is meant to say, hey, the congressman failed or somebody failed.
Right.
That's life, right? Things like that, like you said, happen, right? We push and we give our greatest effort, and sometimes it didn't make it, right?
But we learn. We learn from it and get better, because sometimes you think that, oh, well, I did my part. I gave it to somebody in power, and well, we tried that before and it didn't work. Well, no. What did I learn from that?
Right. Well, and that's what we tell the veterans. Like over the weekend, we meet veterans twice a week, one-on-one, and we had a veteran that said, "Oh, I did this. They did this for me 20-some years ago." And I said, "No, they didn't. According to all the evidence that you have in front of you, they did not." And that also goes to what we said a few weeks ago, is people might hold titles, but that's just all it is a title. They don't actually do the work. Like you said, we don't, Anthony and I and HMI, we're not about spinning wheels and just talking. We actually we take action.
But when we try our best, and again, right, when we talk about that, right, it's also the help and the push from the veterans. And a lot of this has happened because the veterans out there that, have received help from us, and they're in a better position, right? And like you said, it's worth it to go after this. And once they're in that position, now they're able to say, hey, how can I help, right? What do you need? Can I give you this? Can I come and help? And that is essentially where we're at with what we're doing, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, look, let's keep getting our veterans together. Let's keep giving them what they need, the tools to get them to where they need to be. And we keep looking for ways to make this better. And here it is. We had somebody come from Denver saying, we want to come in and help you. And that right there is the thing that we've been waiting for. And if we would have stopped, probably never would have met her. They would, if we didn't do all the things we did or help some of these folks, they never would have gone and said, hey, go check those group of people out over there, HMI, and maybe they might be somebody that can guide you.
But it's a worthwhile and it's an important cause that most people, the majority of people, want to support veterans.
Yes.
So it's really just a matter of, how can we get together, collaborate, get on the same sheet of music so we can get something done? Because most people want to help this.
Yes.
No matter what your political affiliation is.
Yes. No, yeah, and you're right. And it's even the little things. We got guys that'll just come in and say, man, this is all I can do. That's probably the greatest help we've needed. This is all I can do. That's great. Come help us. We need it. And it's not just for us. It's for all the veterans.
And this past weekend, what did we have? We had Mr. Andre. He was going around. The VA big push is everything online, everything in apps, right? So he wanted to teach the people, the veterans, how to download the app and how to use the app. And that was amazing. And then we met 3 families this weekend that have never filed their claim. Years. They waited years. But that's all we have. Oh, wow, look. We've got the music. Get off. Okay, well, are we on air next week? Yes, no? Yes, we are. You're listening to us on The Point. You can catch all of our shows on Facebook. You can just search for us or after you watch Ray. And then if you just rewatch the replay, we started, earlier last year? January?
Yeah, we're coming up on 1 year.
Yes, almost 1 year. Yeah. But we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Jose. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Thank you. All right.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
Blair's heading east. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. A severe winter storm is slamming much of the Midwest and moving towards the East Coast. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser declaring a snow emergency as her city braces for what could be up to 9 inches of snow.
Our priority, of course, is the safety of everyone in our city and getting the city cleaned and fully opened as soon as possible.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer has the latest.
Millions of Americans are under winter weather alerts. This as powerful winter storms continue to hammer the U.S. Heavy snow, crippling ice, and blizzard conditions are bringing life-threatening hazards to more than 24 states, from the plains to the mid-Atlantic. Some areas could see more than a foot of snow, while others are forecast to get half an inch of ice. Meantime,